So Harley, what's the deal with emotional eating? A lot of people still say you can emotionally eat and you should temper your appetite. And I'm like, you should temper your appetite like you should temper your breathing. And when you go crazy, when you can't breathe enough, when you restrict your breathing and you want to go freaking out, just deal with your emotions. Be at peace with yourself and read some positive attitude books. Come on. And when you don't get enough sleep, when someone wakes you up at 2 a.m. in the morning and goes, come on, get up and wake up, and you get all cranky, and they can say, well, hey, you're being emotional now. But when it comes to food, people think, oh, if I'm eating more calories than I need, or I don't actually know how many calories I should be eating, and I don't even know how many calories I eat a day, and I don't know what the recommendations are for a fit person, or if you want to be fit, I don't really know anything. I just follow what everyone else says about, yeah, I'm emotionally eating. So can you emotionally eat? In my personal opinion, I think it's impossible. I personally think it's impossible. And I'm the only person who's going to tell you this. You're not going to hear it from anybody else. I don't physically feel it's possible to emotionally overeat, especially on fruits, and vegetables. What is happening in the world today is people go on raw foods, you know, people go on all these fad diets, these calorie restriction diets, and then all of a sudden they're emotionally eating. I wonder if there's any connection with caloric insufficiency and emotional eating. I wonder if there's any connection there. I wonder if there's any like real strong connection there. Maybe, maybe just maybe. So people go on low carb diets and they binge out hardcore on carbohydrate rich foods, and they think, oh, I'm emotionally eating. People go on raw food sort of programs and they undereat on fruit, and then they binge out on these carbohydrate-rich foods. You know what I mean? Like donuts, chocolate, ice cream, pizza, pasta, rice dishes, things like that. And then they think, oh, I'm emotionally overeating. Emotionally eating, I'm stress eating. No, your body's starving and it wants to get some calories in there. And people go, Harley, I'm not starving. Look at me. I'm like, 250 pounds or 300 or 490 pounds. I'm not starving, dude. I'll tell you what. It only literally takes about 2 or 3 hours of exercise or using your brain a lot to run your glycogen stores deplete, especially if you're carrying that much excess weight around. Me, I'm about 65 kilos. So if I was 200 kilos, if I put on a 140 kilo backpack and went to walk around, my glycogen stores would run out very quickly. Why? Because I'm carrying extra weight around. So when people who are overweight are trying to eat for like thin people, and they've got family and kids and businesses and passions and things they're dealing with, and they're trying to eat less, you're gonna be eating eventually. And you'll be so starved and so stressed when you finally eat, you'll be emotional, and then you're eating at the same time, and you think it's emotional eating. All it is you are hungry. Your body is starved of carbohydrates. It doesn't matter if it's rice or fruit or pasta or corn or barley or whatever. Your body's starved of carbohydrates. And when you starve your body of carbohydrates, you'll be eating them sooner or later, which is a good thing because your body's in survival mode. So how about we just stop getting to that stressed out position and eat a carbohydrate rich diet all the time, every day, every meal, carbs, carbs, carbs. Fruit's the best, obviously, most nutrient dense per calorie. If you don't want to eat fruit, if you can't get fruit, have your other carbohydrates you like, rice, pasta, corn, barley, things like that. And I'm not talking about donuts or ice cream, which are fatty carbohydrate foods. What does that mean? With ice cream, donuts, pizzas, things like that, the fatty ones, or at least 50% of the calories are coming from fat. So you're eating the carbohydrates, you get a lot of fat, the fat stores in your body really quickly, and you start feeling crap. So when we're going to eat carbohydrate foods, we want low fat, high carb, fruit being the best. Does that make sense? And if you can't get fruit, still get your carbs in. The worst thing you can do is go on a raw food program and go, I'm going to be raw foodist and I'm just going to eat fruit. And if I can't stay any fruit, I'll still stay raw and I'll eat nuts. And I've done that myself, did that for a long time. I'd be like, and my exercise levels and my energy was just sort of up and down. You know what I mean? Because a lot of nuts is just going to fat you out, sludge up your lymphatic system, slow you down, and slow up your digestion. So carbs are key. You're better off eating rice and corn and other carbohydrate foods. If you can't get enough fruit, than trying to fill up on nuts. Don't eat fat to get your carbohydrates. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? It's not going to work. So if you want carbs, eat carbs. Doesn't make sense to eat fat when your body needs carbs. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for a real freak show. And if you look in the raw food world, man, there is some emotional freak shows out there Not because that's what they like normally, but just because that's what diet they're on. They're on this carbohydrate restriction diet, and they're trying to make all these fatty raw foods that mimic low-fat, high-carb cooked foods. And so eating all these fatty, greasy pastas that are raw vegan, when they're better off actually having a low-fat, maybe gluten-free, vegan pasta versus some high-fat, low-carb. They should be having the high-carb, low-fat. So they're having this high-fat thing because their body's craving carbohydrates. So they just think it's emotional bullshit, which is crazy. So they're having this high-fat meal, not getting any carbohydrates, any sufficiency there, and they're still freaking out emotionally. And they think, oh, I need to do some fasting now. I need to fast. I need to do some cleansing and some purification and some landmark forum courses, or I've got to listen to more Tony Robbins stuff, or spend 10 grand, do a seminar. No, you don't. All that stuff's good as well. You got to get carved up first, man. There's no point doing, mental work if you're carb deprived. It's like going into a maths exam when you're in high school or college when you're undercarbed in the head. All your professors and teachers say, bring your glucose tablets or your candy bars or your fruit, or make sure you've got lots of carbohydrates so your brain can think. You don't walk into an exam undercarbed. Don't do emotional work when you're undercarbed. Don't do emotional work when you're fasting, because you're not lucid, man. Look at people who do long fasts. I've been there, help supervise a couple of long-term fasts, and people go a bit nuts because you're on ketones. You're not thinking straight. You run out of carbs. You're on ketones, and you're almost half drunk. So can you emotionally overeat? Can you emotionally eat? I 100% believe you cannot. All I'm seeing, and some people, oh, that's a big claim, mate. What are you basing that on? I'm basing that on, I've never seen it before. I've never seen someone get enough carbohydrates, at least 10 grams of carbs per kilo per day for, at least a few weeks. Get the sleep and get the water, so everything's working great. The body can absorb the carbohydrates, the glycogen stores are up. I've never seen someone do that and they have this emotional eating issue going on. Interesting, isn't it? You know what I mean? So my question is, why aren't people promoting this? I don't know. Why aren't people saying this? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm absolutely clueless. I think a lot of people would just condition at some level, even some raw food gurus out there, or health food teachers out there, condition at some level you can overeat. You know what I mean? But people say, Harley, if you overeat, you get fat. And I'm like, well, I overeat every meal, and look how fat I am. You know what I mean? Look how fat I am. You know what I mean? It's like, look at all that fat. Look at all that fat dripping off me. And I've had this mentality for a long time now. I strongly believe you cannot overeat. You cannot stress eat. You are just hungry. When your glycogen's low, you get more stressed. When you haven't had enough water, you get more stressed. When you haven't had enough sleep, you get more stressed. So drink more water, get more sleep, and eat more carbohydrates. If you want to eat food, eat it. Just eat the best stuff. You know what I mean? When you're hungry, your standards drop, and then you eat shit you regret and go, oh, I'm emotionally eating. No, you were so hungry that you ate shit. You ate crap. So eat the best stuff. Fruit's number one. If you can't get enough fruit, whole food carbohydrate sources. Keep it vegan, keep it plant-based, low fat, high carb, low sodium. So it's a whole emotional eating thing. I think probably the worst thing you can believe is that you can emotionally eat. That's probably the most insidious, self-destructing, limiting belief I can think of, is that you can overeat and you should always be eating less and temper your appetite. I think that's the worst thing you can believe out of anything. Why? Because when you believe that, you're constantly feeling that guilt trip, that like, oh my God, I'm just like some sort of failure. You know what I mean? I'm some sort of failure, so I should be eating less. So that's one of the worst things I can think. That's the worst thing you can believe, is I can emotionally eat, I'm overeating. Because then you undereat, and then your life quality goes downhill. People go, Harley, I know people who don't eat too much and they're doing all right. Yeah, they're binging behind the curtains, man. They're eating stuff that they're not proud of behind the curtains. And why? Because they're trying to calorie restrict. They're trying to calorie restrict. And when you do that, you get hungry, man. And when you try and be fit, or look after your family, or run a business, or to be passionate, you need a lot more glycogen. If you're overweight and you're carrying that around all day, you need a lot more glycogen. And undereating, it's not going to serve you anything. If you're an athlete, you're going to be dependent on drugs and stimulants and constantly that yo-yo. I'll see so many athletes who they undereat and then just collapse out of their sport, and you never see them again. Or when you do see them, they're 50 kilos overweight or 50 pounds overweight, and they're just hating life. And they think that they're weak. They think they're undisciplined, but no, they just did the wrong things. They didn't put enough fuel in the tank to support their lifestyle. These people are some of the most disciplined people I know. More disciplined than me. I'm not disciplined at all. I'm all about strategies. I like making things easy because I'm lazy. I like sitting back and just letting it all pan out. You won't see me putting a watermelon seed in concrete. I'm going to put that watermelon seed in the ground because I want it to be easy. I'm going to eat enough food so this lifestyle is easy. I'm going to give enough sleep so this lifestyle is easy. I'm going to get enough water so I stay hydrated. I'm into easy things. And then make it hard if you want. But don't make it hard and it has to be. You know what I mean? Life can be hard enough. Why make it harder? I'm into the good stuff, man. The having the fun. So I was out training this morning on the bike and I woke up and it was very cold temperatures. So I just put on more clothing. It's already hard enough. Why make it harder? You know, why undereat? You know, if you're dealing with emotional stuff, why eat less food? Often what we find is when people get enough carbohydrates for a few weeks, or even a day or a few hours as a start, all of a sudden the issues become non-issues. And people go, why was I freaking out about that? Jeez, that's silly. You know what I mean? It's almost like bipolar. Put some carbs in, boom, they're back to normal again. And people go, oh, that's because they're suppressing their emotions with food, Harley. Yeah, right. Fuck, man, that is so limiting belief. That's like, you know, depriving someone of enough sleep, and when they freak out and go, I just need some sleep, you go, oh, you're trying to sleep away your emotions now, huh? Or when someone's really dehydrated and they're flipping out and they have some water, oh, I'm just cooling off now, I'm good, I'm getting better. Oh, you're drinking your emotions away, you should just sit at peace. Bullshit, man. Look after your basic, fundamental physiological requirements. Sleep, water, sugar. Get enough. And then let's see how emotional you are. And again, I've never, ever, ever, ever seen it. And I'm the forensic. I can tell when a huntsman's spider is literally dehydrated. I can tell. A little spoon of water and the spider will drink. And I endeavor to put that up on YouTube for you. I'm the forensic. I look at the details and all of that objective advice, objective information, objective results. So I'm looking at the little minute details, and I've never, ever seen anyone in thousands of people I communicate with who emotionally eats. Ever seen it. Never seen it. All I'm seeing is people under-eating, under-sleeping, and under-hydrating. And when you under-eat, you can't sleep enough and you can't hydrate enough. So carb up. 10 grams of carbs per kilo per day as a minimum. And build it up. And never believe that you can emotionally eat or stress eat, because it's an absolute lie. It's the worst thing you can believe because it affects your total quality of life. So get that belief and just trash it. And you tell me how good you start to feel. And then you carry that on for a month, a week, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years down the track, and you will see some hardcore results. Because people go, oh, I do it for a day, and I've been doing this for 10 years, and I haven't changed much. It's like, man, in cycling, we say that you need at least 3 years before you're really critical of your ability. 3 years of consistent training with good people, smart training. 3 years of consistent training before you're critical of how you're performing. And I'll say that with eating as well. Do it for 3 years, consistent things in the right direction before you get critical. People write to me, Harley, I've been doing this for 2 months and I'm not too sure what's going on here. I don't know if this is right for me. I'm like, 2 months, man. You're expecting a lot in 2 months. 2 months is great. High fives, man. Good on you for starting. But 2 months, you know what I mean? A year, it's not much in the big scheme of things. It's not much. So keep chipping on and understand it takes time. But get your carbs in as much as you care for. Drink the water so you're pissing clear at least 10 times a day. And go to bed as early as you can and get up with the sun and start living your day. You know what I mean? That's the basics. And so people say, but Harley, but I emotionally ate. I did. I did. And I'm like, okay, how many calories did you eat that day? Oh, X, Y, Z. Okay, that was enough. How many calories did you eat the day before? Oh, not really enough. I got caught up and I had some stuff at work. And the day before that, I've been sort of under eating. I've just been so busy, or I couldn't get fruit from the market. There you go. It's not just one day. It's what you eat before, the week before as well. Even the month before, if you under eat, your body's going to play catch up eventually. People come off a cleanse or a fast, and then 2 weeks later, the metabolism's kicking up again. And the body's going, give me some food. And people are going, whoa, what's going on here? You know, what's going on here? They don't understand that their body's playing catch up. So your body will play catch up with you. If you've starved yourself for whatever reason, on purpose or by ignorance, just because you were distracted from eating, your body's going to play catch up. This body's going to play catch up 100% of the time. So when it plays catch up, you want to have the good foods in abundance as much as you can eat around you, so you don't reach for the junk and feel crap and look crap and perform crap. You know what I mean? And then there's the other group of people who go, oh, You know, I emotionally eat all the time. Like, well, how many calories a day you get? How many grams of carbs you get a day? I don't count that stuff. I just go by feel. And I'm like, there you go. That's your problem. You go by feel. You go by your emotional bullshit feel. You go by your limiting beliefs that restrict you from living the life you can. You go by restricted beliefs that prevent you from being who you can be. And that's what you go by when you go by feel. You know what I mean? So it's going by feel is good if you're experienced down the track. But if you're experienced but if you're following your limiting beliefs, that's what you're going to experience. So going by feel is very dangerous at the start. You've got to go by objective guidelines to help break apart that emotional bullshit that we're all programmed with on a daily basis. You should eat less. You should eat less. You should eat less. Carbohydrates are the devil. Carbohydrates are the devil. All the raw food gurus out there. Sweet fruit's the devil. You know, you shouldn't be eating sweet fruit. All this bullshit that's getting programmed into your brain. So when you go by feel, you got all these hucksters and snake oil gurus and, you know, wishy-washy wackos telling you all this stuff, subliminally programming you. So when you follow that, you're going to go downhill. So going by feel can be very dangerous at the start. So go by objective guidelines. It's like on a compass. You know, you don't go into the desert and go, I'm just, my essence and intuition is saying go that way and the omen's over there. Whatever. Use a fucking compass so you know, okay, yep, that way's good. You know what I mean? That's where I've got to go. I want to go north. The compass is saying north. There we go. I need to get enough calories. Go to that direction. Okay, this is what we've got to do. Versus going by feel and being airy-fairy, flaky, wishy-washy, whatever. Go by objective guidelines, objective information. You know? And people say, oh, no. But when you pay these people for their programs, they're objective about how much money they've got to take from you. They're fucking objective. You know what I mean? They're objective about that. But when their guidelines they give you, I just go by feel and, you know, yes, you know, whatever. When you're giving them money, they're like counting it, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's enough. Oh, no, that's not enough. Give me some more. But when they're giving advice to you, it's all subjective, wishy-washy, 100% guaranteed to fail. You might get some little results here and there and go, wow, look at this, and tell your friends about it, and they get some clients, but it's guaranteed to fail. Emotional eating, impossible. Get enough calories. So don't just do it fucking better. Thanks for watching, and really think about this a lot and take action on it. Because you can think about stuff and know stuff, but if you don't take action, it's all for nothing. Thanks for watching.